Finally, the two leaders discussed a visit to the United States in the future. The president then had lunch with the vice president, where they recapped this morning's meetings and discussed next steps. They also had discussed plans to advance the president's legislative agenda to make America safer and more prosperous. Also today, the president signed designations for acting heads of executive departments and agencies to maintain continuity in those critical positions. At 3 o'clock, union leaders and frontline workers will meet with the president to discuss his pro-worker agenda. Attendees include Tom Flynn of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, Sean McGarvey, president of the North American Building and Construction Trades Department, Terry O'Sullivan, general president of the Laborers International Union of North America, Mark McManus, the general president of the United Association, Donald Mullins, Steamfitters United Association Local 602, Frank Spencer, United Brotherhood Carpenters, Doug McCarran, general president, United Brotherhood of Carpenters, Mark Coles of Iron Workers Local 5, Joseph Sellers Jr., the general president of the Sheet Metal Workers Union / Smart Union, Thelma M. Matta, the Heat and Frost Insulators and Allied Workers Local 24, Mark Yurkowski, United Association Local 5, Stephen Dodd, the Sheet Metal Workers Union / Smart Union, Gary Massino, the Sheet Metal Workers Union Smart Union. The president has been honored to receive tremendous support from union working men and women on Election Day, and he's dedicated to growing and deepening their support. And he made it a priority to meet with these union workers on our working day one here in the White House. The offshoring of American jobs and lack of economic growth in recent years has hit American workers particularly hard. And the president's top priority is to retain and attract American jobs, which have already seen happening through his actions on Carrier, Sprint, General Motors, and so many more. At 5 o'clock, the president will host a bicameral bipartisan meeting with leaders here at the White House that will include the vice president, the Senate Majority Leader, the Senate Majority Whip, the Senate Minority Leader, the Senate Minority Whip, the House Speaker, the House Majority Leader, the House Democratic Leader, the House Democratic Whip, the White House Chief of Staff, our Chief Strategist, Chief of Staff to the Vice President, and Chiefs of Staff from those respective offices. The purpose of the meeting is to get the president's agenda moving through Congress. The American people are frustrated with the lack of progress here in Washington, and the president wants no delay in addressing our most pressing issues. He's taking every opportunity to forge strong bonds with congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle. One of the other subjects that's sure to come up is the status of his nominees during this meeting. It's important to note that at this point in 2009, President Obama had 7 of his nominees confirmed on day one and 5 more in the first week. As it stands today, we have 2. Democrats even held up the confirmation of CIA Director Mike Pompeo, needlessly leaving one of our most important national security agencies without its top leader on day one. It's time for Senate Democrats to stop playing political games with the core functions of government and to allow President Trump's unquestionably qualified and talented group of cabinet nominees to get to work on behalf of the American people. Rounding out today's schedule, after the reception that I mentioned, he will have dinner with, or he'll have a meeting with the House Speaker, Paul Ryan. They will discuss the Republican legislative agenda and strategy going forward. Early in the day, the president nominated former New Mexico Congresswoman Heather Wilson as the next Secretary of the Air Force. She grew up in Keene, New Hampshire, and made history as part of the 3rd U.S. Air Force Academy class that included women. She earned her master's degree and doctoral degrees as a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford in England, and then served as an Air Force officer in Europe during the Cold War and on the National Security Office under President George H.W. Bush. As you know, we're all about big viewerships and large audiences here. So I want to tell you about an effort that we're undertaking here in the press briefing room to offer up more access to a group of journalists from around the country. Beginning later this week, I'm excited to announce that we're going to have 4 what we call Skype seats live here in the briefing room. This will open up the briefing to journalists who live beyond 50 miles of the Washington, D.C. area and to organizations that don't currently have a hard pass. As always, any organization is welcome to apply for a day pass. But we're excited to open up into the field and fold here a diverse group of journalists from around the country who may not have the convenience or funding to travel to Washington. I think this can benefit us all by giving a platform to voices that are not necessarily based here in the Beltway.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.